Y sí, güey, dices que sí. Pues ¿cuánto ya agarraste skills, güey? ¿Ya llevas o no? Ah, pues no que te quiera ayudar, güey, para... Sí. Fucking bitch. No la van a madre, vas a ver. Cállate, güey, que no te caíste, puto. Joto. Creo que sí. Todavía no tenía nada el güey. Oye, el que haga el time trial. Tienes que correr y agarrar todos los círculos. Oh, pero tienes que, si no te lo puedes agarrar, tienes que empezar de nuevo. Yo creo que no. ¿Eso? ¿Ya agarraste todos los chests aquí? ¿Bate? Creo que son 5, ¿no? Fíjate. A ver. No, no hay nada aquí. Oh, también tienes que agarrar la minigun y matar a creo que a 2. No. El archivo está bien lejos de ti, güey. Ay, güey. Pinche pivo está bien bravo. Culero. ¿No has jugado con el baterista ese juego? Chivato miedoso. Yeah. Oh, we should play that one, Pico, later. I mean, tomorrow or something. Well, we can play it too, fool. We don't need to fucking stick in Chivo. Yeah. Wait, I don't have material? Estabas en el círculo, pendejo. No, I don't have anything. He went down. No. It seems like he was by himself. But he was shooting at someone, so it might be another group. Still here? He's upstairs? Oh yeah, he's in front of me. There you go. Están abajo. Behind us, behind us, behind us. Yeah. Oh, what the fuck? From upstairs, Pico, watch out, Pico. Yeah, we're down. Yeah, there was like 2 groups at least that came from us. ¿Estás try ahí, Pico? Oye, bate. A ver, Piquito. Todos lados. Córrele, güey, córrele, güey. Mira, viene atrás de ti, güey, no mames. Escóndete debajo de una pinche piedra, güey, no mames. Le das con un pinche hoyo, güey. Ahí, güey, chinga todas ahí, güey. A ese, güey, a ese, güey. Ese. Hija. Puta madre, no mames, no les verga. Sí, sí te dieron. Le diste, güey, le diste. Sí, terminamos en 6, güey. Es el 6 lugar. Es lo que me quería yo. Y no, güey, nunca se va a callar, güey. A ver. Debería terminar. Y a mí también. Si no me equivoco, encontré una lama a huevo. Me encontré una lama. Have a jumper, a jug. No dio casi nada bueno, güey. No me dio el jug y el impulse grenades y la esa que te hace bailar. ¡Ay, no madre! Aquí ya llegué a Two Towers. Está por el parking. Está cerquita de baterista, güey. Cerquitita, güey. Oh, estoy abajo de ti, chivo. Abajo de ti. Sí, si no, aquí están todos los friendlies, güey. No mames. Que la chingada. Oh. I need guns. Can I have any? I don't have any. Oh no, man. Man, give me to 128. Damn. Ooh, nice. Yeah. No, aquí están, aquí están. No se ocupa, güey. Ya se le pasó chivo, güey. Que te da chingada. see? Ooh, haven't anyone on site. Mm-hmm. Oh, this guy's playing with the keyboard. Yep, this guy's playing with the keyboard. Well, we should try use the keyboard. Probably it's easier. I'll buy a keyboard for my purposes. Chinga uno. Fuck that bitch. A 7:22. Segundo dato, pues sí, pendejo. ¿Quién? ¿El Goku? Oh, ¿el batallita ese va? Yeah, let's take a little break. Va. I think I'm gonna go get some tacos or something.
everyone mobilizing, getting ready to vote. You know, people are like, we gotta get out there and vote. And it's weird because Trump has switched up what a midterm really is about. Normally it's about the political party itself. This feels like a referendum on Trump, which must feel really shitty for all the people running, because this is like the pinnacle of their careers, many of them. And now, like, voters are like, this has nothing to do with you. This is about Trump. And they're like, no, it's me and my platform. I don't care about your platform. It's about Trump or no Trump. Like, that's all people are doing. They're voting against Trump or they're voting for. They don't actually care about some of the people that they're voting for. You know what it would be the equivalent of? It's like, imagine if somebody was getting married and they didn't care about who they were getting married to, right? They were just like, I take not Mark to be my husband, to heaven to hold, unlike Mark. What about me? Shut up! This is about not Mark. I will love him till I die, Mark. You should have known better than to build that wall, Mark.
Exchange that you have to do really carefully or you'll end up with Dwight Howard. Seriously, parents, talk to your children about trade. You don't want them going to school with pizza Lunchables and coming home with Dwight Howard. You think he's going to add a three-point shot to his game now, kid? Grow up. No. Trade is a subject on which our current president considers himself particularly expert.
Trade. That's what I'm going to do so good. I'll take those trade deals and make them so good. That's what I do. I love taking bad deals and making them good. I love trade. You know, trade's always been my thing. I could name 10 different forms of trade. I know every one of them. Hey, the Wharton School of Finance right here.
Yeah, I can name 10 forms of trade. There's a free trade, fair trade, rough trade, Trader Joe's, that's what, 8? Then there's human trafficking, that's like trading for people. We'll round it up and call it 10. Wharton School of Finance right here. Trump has talked a big game on trade for decades, and he spent this year slapping tariffs on products from China, Canada, the EU, and others, prompting them to retaliate with tariffs of their own. And this trade war has escalated fast, from tariffs on just 18 products at the start of the year to now over 10,000. So things have gotten pretty serious, and American workers are already being impacted, particularly in agriculture.
We're feeling a lot of pain right now in the farm sector. It's affecting farmers in a negative way.
I always hope that one morning President Trump's just going to wake up and send out that 3:30 in the morning tweet that says tariffs are gone.
Wow, that is a depressing thought. That guy's livelihood depends on a tweet that says tariffs are gone. And even if Trump does end up doing that at 3:30 in the morning, you just know it'll say tariffs ape goon, and we'll all have to decide what he meant by that. So tonight, before things get much worse, let's take a look at this trade war, because it's tempting to think that Trump has a plan. After all, trade is his thing. And he's tweeted, trade wars are good and easy to win. But for years, his strategy on that seems to have been based around little more than tone of voice.
So easy. I drop a 25% tax on China. And you know, I said to somebody that it's really the messenger. The messenger is important. I could have one man say, we're going to tax you 25%. And I could say another, listen, you motherfuckers, we're going to tax you 25%.
Oh, I see. Okay, so the tone is important. So if I were to say to somebody, that's not how trade negotiations work, that would be one thing. But if I were to say, that's not how trade negotiations work, you dumb motherfucker, that would be much more effective. That's good for me to know, because for all Trump's confidence, there are some very basic things about economics that he seems genuinely confused by. Take tariffs. Trump once tweeted that if the trade war doesn't end, other countries will pay us vast sums of money in the form of tariffs. We win either way. But that's not how tariffs work. Tariffs are taxes designed to make foreign goods more expensive, therefore making domestic products more appealing. Other countries don't pay us tariffs. tariffs. Importers here do when they receive the goods, and they usually pass that cost along to the consumer. So when Trump imposes a tariff on an item, you are probably going to pay more for it, as reporters have been trying to explain in the most literal way possible.
Here in the kitchen, made-in-China utensils and appliances like stoves and refrigerators are being targeted. Upstairs in the bathroom, everyday items like shampoo, nail clippers, makeup, and towels.
Could mean higher prices for things like instant coffee and this Harley-Davidson motorcycle.
Everyday items like the iPad could be hit. The tablet has a chip from Intel, which could be a target. E-scooters have taken off this year. Now they face a 25% tariff.
Okay, I hate to admit this, but if one of the key casualties of this trade war is e-scooters, I actually think I'm fine with that. They are basically if Dane Cook somehow became transportation. And it's not just tariffs that Trump seems to misunderstand. There's also our trade deficit. Basically, the number that expresses how much more we buy from other countries than they buy from us. Trump talks about it all the time, usually like this.
Our trade deficit ballooned to $817 billion. Think of that. We lost $817 billion a year over the last number of years in trade. In other words, if we didn't trade, we'd save a hell of a lot of money.
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack there. First, our trade deficit is actually $552 billion, so he was off by $250 billion. What a school of finance right there. Second, trade deficits aren't actually always bad, and many economists believe, for very complex reasons involving savings rates and the dollar's special status as the world's reserve currency, that America's trade balance might be more or less where it should be. And finally, and this is important, when we have a trade deficit, we don't lose money. It's not a big pile of cash that we handed over. We bought things that we received. And I'm not saying that it was all valuable. Does anyone really need the pony-up daddy saddle, which allows your child to symbolize their newfound dominance over your life? No, I didn't need it, but I wanted it, and honestly, it's brought my dad and me closer together. And even the world leaders that Trump has been fighting with seem alarmed by how little he understands trade. EU chief Jean-Claude Juncker reportedly met Trump armed with a series of colourful, simple flashcards to explain the trade war. And the word that really gets me there is colourful. Because that means that they had some simple flashcards and thought, no, too wonky. Let's get some big fun baby colours on those things. Let's give him a chance. And Angela Merkel struggled to explain something even more basic.
The Independent newspaper, citing an unnamed senior German official, 10 times, Trump asked Ms. Merkel if he could negotiate a trade deal with Germany. Every time she replied, you can't do a trade deal with Germany, only the EU. On the 11th refusal, Trump finally got the message, oh, we'll do a deal with Europe then.
So he understood, but only after the 11th refusal. Just listen to what that sounds like. Deal with Europe. Huh? 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 Deal with Europe. Oh, okay, I'll deal with Europe then. Honestly, I'm just amazed that after the 5th time, Angela Merkel didn't turn to her translator and say, okay, you're fucking fired. You can't possibly be translating this right. And look, I am not saying that it's easy to understand trade. It's one of the most complicated issues there is, technically, politically, and emotionally. Over the years, free trade has been criticised from all sides. People argue that unfettered trade can reward the worst behaviour of multinational companies and exploit countries with fewer protections for labour, and that has unquestionably happened. But Trump generally confines himself to arguing that trade is responsible for the death of US manufacturing jobs. And while there is some truth in that, automation is the far bigger culprit. We actually still make a lot of things in America. US factories now manufacture twice as much as they did in 1984, but they do it with 1/3 fewer workers. And the overwhelming consensus among economists is that trade between countries, generally speaking, can create jobs, lower costs, and be a net benefit to both nations. Essentially, think of trade like sex. If you're doing it right, it can be good for both partners, though the odds of that happening plummet as soon as Donald Trump gets involved. And the problem, the real problem with Trump not understanding trade is that he therefore doesn't understand its consequences. For instance, one of the first major shots he fired in this trade war was putting tariffs on steel and aluminum. That was great news for the people working in those specific industries, like this worker in a Missouri aluminum plant. do know, and I honestly get why he wants to hug him. Trump got him his job back. It's one of two possible explanations for that man wanting to hug Donald Trump. The other, of course, being that if during the early stages of the campaign, Trump and Melania were driving through Missouri on a stormy night and their car broke down, Donald's not getting out, so Melania ends up climbing out into the rain and opening the hood as that aluminum worker comes driving down the highway. He rolls down his window and asks if he can help, to which Melania gratefully asks, maybe a flashlight? And just as the aluminum worker is handing the flashlight over, it gets struck by lightning and they switch bodies. So, now, Donald is living in the White House with an aluminum worker who feels understandably weird about holding his hand, while Melania is forced to pine after her husband from the factory floor, her heart's aching for him every second of every day, knowing full well that revealing her true identity would just complicate things for everyone. But that's bullshit, Melania. You go to him. The world will accept your love. That aluminum worker clearly isn't in love with him. Everyone can see it. It explains so much. Look, the point is, but that individual guy in that individual job, things have improved. But when it comes to trade, nothing happens in isolation. And then there are downstream effects to those tariffs. Not too far from where that guy works, there is a nail factory which suffered because, thanks to Trump's steel tariffs, the price of their raw material, steel, skyrocketed. Sales dropped in half, and they've laid off over 100 workers, and those that remain are worried.
Some of these people, this is the only income they got. Just like me, this is the only income I got, and I got to put another daughter through school. You know, it's going to be hard.
Yeah, it is. That's the problem here. Protecting steel helps steel, but it hurts anything made from it. And you have to balance those consequences. By one estimate, Trump's tariffs may create 26,000 jobs in steel and aluminum, but could cost over 400,000 jobs across the rest of the economy. So if Trump's trying to create jobs, almost anything would be a better idea than tariffs. He'd be better off dressing a turtle up like David Bowie and throwing him into a pool full of milk. Will that create jobs? Of course not, but it won't actively lose hundreds of thousands of them. Plus, it'll be the highlight of Ziggy Sheldust's life. And listen, we're still only scratching the surface of how complicated this is, because distinguishing between a foreign product and an American job can be a lot trickier than you'd think. Take some of Trump's favorite villains when it comes to foreign companies.
They sell Mercedes and BMW, and the cars come in by the millions, and we hardly tax them at all. We can't do this stuff anymore. We protect Germany. Germany, who doesn't have a BMW? We're going to tax Mercedes-Benz. We're going to tax BMW. We're going to tax all of those beautiful Mercedes-Benzes that are coming in, and we're going to tax BMWs that are coming in.
Trump is furious with German cars, and here is the thing about that. In the clip where he said, "Who doesn't have a BMW?" to the crowd in his classic man of the people way, Trump is actually in North Augusta, South Carolina, and just 2 hours drive away is a place called Spartanburg County, well known for this.
Spartanburg is home to the largest BMW plant in the world. Last year, they made more than 370,000 luxury SUVs, employing 10,000 people, pumping billions into the state's economy.
Yeah, it seems Trump didn't know that. And look, everyone knows he doesn't know a lot of things, but occasionally it's important to remember that he also doesn't know anything. It's true. It's true. I'll show you. Everyone close your eyes right now and think of something. That thing you're thinking of, he doesn't know that. And since the trade war began, Spartanburg County is actually double fucked, because they'll be affected by higher costs for the steel that they use to build the cars, and when they try to ship them to China, they'll be hit by Chinese tariffs. So they are in complicated trouble, or as Trump might put it, listen, you motherfuckers, you're getting taxed twice. So if a trade war could be this disruptive and the net benefits are likely to be this negative, why is Trump doing this? Especially because members of his own economic team seem against it. Gary Cohn reportedly left over the proposed tariffs, and Steve Mnuchin, Treasury Secretary and white-hot sex bomb, has tried to do some damage control by claiming we're not actually in a trade war at all.
This has been a trade dispute all along. It never was a trade war. It's a trade dispute.
Oh, I get it. It's not a war, it's a dispute. You know what? I almost bought that bullshit because I was so distracted by this lava-rich sex volcano's looks. The guy's hypnotic. I must have a bad case of the Mnucci's right now because he's looking like an absolute snack. So who is telling the president that this is a good idea? Well, by most accounts, the driving force is Peter Navarro, head of Office of Trade and Manufacturing Policy. He's Trump's trade guy. Isn't that right, Peter?
I'm the trade guy.
Thanks, Pete. So just for the record, let's all get our Trump administration roles straight. We've got trade guy, liar lady, nothing boy, Jesus pleaser, word ghoul, crime nymph, drunk grandpa, and daughter wife. It's a well-oiled machine he's running. Now, Navarro is the author of a series of get-rich investment books, and like Trump, he's obsessed with trade deficits in general and China in particular, saying trade with China is a zero-sum game, meaning one country can only win if the other country loses. And it is hard to overstate just how rare his views are among economists. When the New Yorker profiled him, they asked Navarro to help them find even one colleague who agreed with him. He gave them two names. One was Peter Marisi, a University of Maryland professor who said of Navarro, he has a rather severe position. That zero-sum statement, I have a problem with that. Where's his proof? And the other was a blogger named Alan Tonelson, who Navarro described as a fine economist, to which Tonelson replied, I do not hold an economics degree. And I'm guessing Tonelson also doesn't hold a degree in web design, because this is the photo on the About page of his blog. So if you are understandably wondering at this point, then how on earth did Navarro get a job at the fucking White House? Well, it is way dumber than you are thinking. Apparently, Jared Kushner was tasked with finding Trump experts on Chinese trade, and this is how he went about it.
So Jared went on Amazon. He fired up his computer and he found some of Peter Navarro's books, and he asked him to come to the White House. That's how Peter Navarro ended up in the White House.
Yep. Jared looked for experts on Amazon. That was his rigorous process. So when Jeff Sessions does get fired, be prepared for him to be replaced by Crystal Caswell, author of the erotic fiction novel Dangerous Rock, a Dangerous Noise novel, because, for whatever reason, that is honestly the first thing that came up when we typed good law person, parentheses, smart, into Amazon. Now the Navarro book that Jared found was called Death by China, and it paints the US-Chinese trade relationship in apocalyptic terms, because while there are some legitimate complaints about China's unfair practices, they've deliberately depressed their currency, they violate intellectual property rights and arguably skirt WTO rules. This book goes way further, with chapter titles featuring phrases like Shanghaiing the gene pool and Look Ma, there's a Death Star pointing at Chicago. Navarro actually turned the book into a movie that one critic called the documentary equivalent of a raving street corner derelict, which seems harsh until you see how the movie begins.
The film you're about to see addresses one of the most...
From Allegan.